roads lead home to the Soul Center. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to be talking about attention with intention and imagination. So, before I get started, I really want to point this out that this is solely for education purposes, and this is years of me studying symbolism and actually doing a lot of journaling and self reflection. So, I want to start with a couple things. Imagination. If you break it down, I imagine a nation. What is an image? Does that equal a vision? So if I am creative in my imagination, then I am creating, and I, through intention, am adding to creation. Likewise, if I were to divide my attention, which is in my imagination, then that would be a divided imagination. In other words, divination, a divided nation. So, what is a broken image or distorted? And what is it with all the holy wars that never seem to end? Your body, your mind, and your soul is all connected, but you must learn to speak across them all. Wow. So, meditation and imagination will help you enter the internal self. Some call it 5D. I personally have found that I like to write before and write after meditation. This helps with the internal dialogues, or self talk, as some call it, but it is all born from the imagination. Your imagination is your gift. And when you learn to turn and face the darkness and turn and look back into the light, you will see both sides because you are standing in the middle. Now cross it over and follow me. If I were to imagine heaven or hell, this happens in my imagination, which is perceived in our heads. So you can quite literally see where I'm going with this. You can create hell in your mind and live it in your mind. Self locked in a cage. Or you can open the door and you can create your own life. You can open the door and let the light come out. If I were to imagine heaven, then I would imagine as if I were an earth angel, as if I was granting wishes for others, as if those who are weak and weary come to me and I point them back to the soul center, which is home, the soul of the human. Ladies and gentlemen, I am on a journey and I am sharing my journey with you. These are handwritten notes. Now, let me go down another pathway with you, and I'm going to tie this all back together, and I'm going to leave you with a few questions for you to think on your own. Our brains, they have two hemispheres, logical and emotional, and there is a direct connection to sound, and that is what modern religion and modern readers and education systems all have in common. And that is the English language, which is inverted, and it is filled with hidden letters. Cymatics is more than just a cool science project or pretty shapes. But when you apply this to the language, you understand the power of the tongue. It's like a sonar, and one can practice and hone this skill with meditation and within your imagination. You can learn to hone this skill. Let me give you a few examples tying all this together. These are critical self questions in form of self reflection. If I were doing this for myself, I would write it like this. What is affirmations? Why do we repeat them? What is a spell? Why are there silent letters? Repeat a lie long enough and people will believe the lie in the middle? Why am I asking in this order? Do schools pass you if you can repeat but not think? What is a hymn? Why has the Bible been rewritten so many times? Why did ancient hymns have no words? Why does harmony matter in sound? Really, why does it matter so much? And when I wrote this, I wrote the word matter with quotation marks. So, a few things to research definitely is cymatics. The King James Version of the Bible and his theories behind witches, warlocks, and spellcasting. The internal dialogue, which is our imagination, that is the inner voice, the voice of reason, the voice of intuition. And oftentimes we judge our own voice. We shame our own thoughts because we have accepted what people on the outside of us have told us. You're not allowed to think that. You're not allowed to question that. Shame on you. These are all forms of spiritual warfare, and these are all forms of spiritual narcissism. Please, I ask you to research this for yourself and question everything, because the imagination is very powerful. And these are seeds that are put in like suggestive words and then repeated with subliminal images, subliminal messaging. You have more than you know. I'll leave you with a few analogies so you can see this faster. If I were to imagine in my mind's eye a bright yellow highlighter illuminating the knowledge I need to see to create a clear image. Now, if I'm going down a list and asking myself these type of questions, actively in my imagination, in my mind's eye, I'm imagining myself like a study book and I'm highlighting different words and I'm pulling together the commonality of these words. So they say that there's hidden words in text. And this, my friends, is how it's done. This you can learn to read quick, and you can learn to remember things and have quick access like a file cabinet, like a hyperlink in your mind's eye. So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, I just want to really reiterate that this is more for education and self-enlightenment. And this has been the combination of many, many years of studying symbolism and the occult matters, which is a lot of stuff that is basically hidden in plain sight, which we inherently have a lot of this information already within us. So when you think about things in the idea of symbolism and the concept of symbolism, there's a lot to uncover there. So much to uncover there because the symbolism and synchronicities and the fact that all this stuff does create like a highlighted pass through or pass over reality and creates this illusion around us. So I think of another analogy here that I could use symbolism with, and that is religion itself, the word religion. Now, if we break that down, that has the word legion in it. And we know that legions are parts of an army. And legions are loyal to, we think of the Roman army when we hear this, because many in the Christian world have been taught about the Roman army, the times of Jesus. But a lot of this has been externalized and it is really focusing on the character and actually doing the one thing that we're not supposed to do, and that is worship Jesus on a cross. Externally on a cross. We have physically created images of Jesus on a cross, and we worship that while calling other religions cults. Now, I find this mind-blowing when I really sit down and look at the symbolism, and I see that it is telling me something different. And then I listen to the words that have been inverted and twisted and contorted, and then I see a very different image in my mind that tells me that I've been lied to, that I failed to see the truth, and I fell for the lie in the middle of belief, and that the only way for me to see this image was for me to walk in the dark in blind faith. So now that leads me to why I created Hypnovision Media. So that is a play off of my stage name from my former club days as a DJ. And so I thought, what better way to like reinvent myself? What better way to take what was and make something brand new, create something different, step into my unknown, and really just take the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nicholas, and this is Hypnovision Media.